What's up, guys? Okay, this video is going to be about Sam Sulek. I got asked about him on TikTok like 2 weeks ago, maybe. I honestly had no idea who he was. You know how TikTok is. Every month or so, someone's like, who's this? Who's this? Who's this? There's like the Trend Twins and this person and this person. And it's hard to keep up. So I had no clue who he was. I looked him up on TikTok. Saw a couple of his pictures. I was like, yeah, he's a big kid. And I didn't, that's all I really said. I said, I didn't really say anything negative. And then people were like, oh, you're hating on it. I'm like, how am I hating on him? People are so weird sometimes. I'm like giving my opinion because I'm being asked of this guy. I have no clue who he is or anything. He's never competed before, so I don't know any of that. I'm part of the competitive world. He's 21, right? I remember when I was 21. I remember I started competing at 18, so I'm familiar with bodybuilding and lifting at a really high level when I was young. Like me, I did my first shows 18, 19, 20, 21. I won all four of my first shows. I had a good diamondized contract. I was stripping at that time, so my life was great and wild. It's probably night and day from this kid's, right? He's more about hardcore, working out at the gym, no girls, that's his shtick, right? That's what I'm like getting from it. It's funny because I watched my friend John Bravo's video. Sorry, I'm kind of sick. And he was like, he kind of looks like Carrot Top. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, he does. And I usually see Carrot Top because when I would train at Gold's Venice, he would be in there a lot. And Carrot Top got kind of big at one time. And they have the same type of hair, long, and their face, and Carrot Top has a lot of freckles, but Sam, he has a lot of acne. We'll get to that. But, so he's a big kid. He has a lot of muscle, right? When I was growing up, it seems like more bigger guys than there are now. A lot of people now is worried about more being aesthetic, which they don't know aesthetic just means beauty. So anything can be beautiful. But we had a lot of guys that were really jacked at a young age. Like that, a teenage nationals was a huge thing when we were younger. I was actually supposed to do teenage nationals. I was 19. I was natural. I won 2 shows already, and I canceled my flight 3 days before the show because I binged eat at night. I took Ambien and I cheated like a couple weeks out, and then I took it again and I cheated again. I'm like, there's no way I could win teen nationals, and then. And I canceled my flight. I saw the results. I was like, I would have won teen nationals. So that was real popular when we were younger, teen nationals and younger bodybuilders. Now it seems the younger guys, they don't really care about competing that much. It's just about social media and likes, which, hey, whatever makes you happy. It's 2 different generations. So it's hard for me and a lot of other bodybuilders that are 40 years old understand a lot of the stuff the younger guys do. I'm like, why wouldn't they do this or this? They could get, and I have a lot of clients. There are several really good younger clients that I mentor them, like what to do to kind of set them up for being good at bodybuilding now, but being smart about it, not running a lot of stuff. And let's be honest here. No way I'm trying to, hate on anybody or anything about but the kid's got a lot of acne. Your skin's your largest organ. It shows a lot of toxicities coming out. I had a couple friends when I was younger. They took a lot of stuff. They didn't have any sort of these type of side effects. I mean, a couple pictures I've seen. I watched videos now. People's like, no, you got to watch his YouTube videos. So I watched them. It's basically him just working out every day and talking after the workout. They're like, he reminds me of Rich Piana. I'm like, no, nothing like Rich Piana. He's 21. He's just a kid. He doesn't, we'll see how he develops. A lot of these people, they have to come up with what they're going to do in the future because it only lasts so long. When you're in fitness, like myself, I started when I was 18. I'm 40 now. You got to reinvent yourself several different times as your career goes along. As a competitor, as a coach, as a judge, as a promoter, like all these things. Those are the things I did. Like, So you kind of had to like go up and down, and as your career went along, different things became more important to you. At 21, I remember when I was at 21, life was great at 21. I mean, I didn't live with my parents anymore, and I know a lot of kids live with their parents now, but I was lucky enough. I was, doing the stripograms for women. I was working for my father, managing a restaurant, and I had a contract that actually paid. The contracts were very different than now, the coupon codes. So I had, a nice apartment, whatever car I wanted. So I was living it up, hanging out with a lot of girls. I took care of myself too. I didn't just take care of my body. I took care of my mind. I studied a lot, and I also took care of, hygiene too, skin. So he needs to figure out how to get rid of all this acne. I'm not going to say this is what he's taking because I have no clue what he's taking. But let's not be silly. He's taking a lot of stuff. For you to have that bad of acne, you have to be pushing it beyond limits. Okay, it's really bad too. It's caused a lot of scarring, which in the future, you can do some resurfacing with laser. But what can he do now with it? You can do some doxycycline, some tetracycline. I think that's not strong enough. I would go to the Accutane to get rid of a lot of that acne. That's something you don't want. That's going to scar your body. And no one loves having that acne. I'm sure it's really, really painful. I've had clients before I helped. It wasn't that bad, but we helped clear them up. I saw that Hostile just signed him. I thought that was interesting because I know Hostile, and I know a lot of pro bodybuilders now that it's hard to get them to work. So he's thinking outside the box. Hey, let me get this kid with a lot of followers. And I'll be honest, like he's 21. He's impressive for his age. Whether he took everything under the kitchen sink, he's still impressive. He obviously has to have good genetics to get that size too. I don't care how much stuff you have to take, but he has good genetics too. The thing is, just in a couple years, his facial structure has changed so much, which is normal over long periods of time, 5 years, 10 years, 20, whatever, but it's changed overnight. It's real pronounced jaw, and that's usually from, excessive growth hormone, androgens, and all that. I'm hopefully Hostile. Fuad will lead him in the right direction and try to help him out. But I'll tell you this: if there was a guy, let's say bigger than him, clear skin, really really good looking kid, and only had 2,000 followers, Fuad would have signed him. Fuad signed him because his followers, and that was a smart idea because he can capitalize on that. Because I know Fuad and the contracts are going to probably be like he can only do podcasts with him. And I like Fuad. I kind of know Fuad. I've talked to him of the industry, even though he's a little older than me. But it's going to lock him in. So he's going to get all that traffic through his channel too. Because it's like all of Sam's followers, which I saw, what does he have, like 300,000 followers or more? That's crazy. That's so many followers for, I'm not saying he hasn't done anything, but he hasn't competed yet. He hasn't won anything. He hasn't, done anything yet in bodybuilding wise. I'm not even sure he wants to compete. I would figure if you do that to your body, you'd want to compete because, like myself, I said I wanted to do a couple shows. I won them, and then I jumped on stuff when I was 19. Guys, go get my book. Also, it's called Geared Up. This has actually all my cycles in it, my whole bodybuilding career, and it has a couple crazy stories in there also. So we'll see how that relationship. He was just thrilled to have a contract. He didn't even know what the contract was. You getting paid $500, $1,000. I think he was just excited because other companies usually want you to have some accomplishments, like you won a couple shows or other stuff like that. But I know Fuad's had trouble with competitors not doing their job under contract. So I hope he takes him under his wing and helps him out a lot. Because I know Fuad's had some health issues and say, hey man, this is not worth your health. Like, clean this stuff up. The Sam guy could have got big without massive amounts of stuff either. So guys, leave it in the comments below. I hope this kid, I wish him the best. He's a big kid. It's impressive. Needs to clear the skin up and he'll do better. We all can do better, right? Leave your comments below what you think of the kid. He's only 21. I thought he was honestly a lot older. I said 40. A lot of people were like, how could you think he was 40? I'm like, well, I honestly thought he was around my age by his facial features. I think a lot of the acne scars made him look older. And like I said, I'm not trying to throw shade. I wish this kid the best, absolutely. He's big, and I don't like all the science lifters. So good luck to him. Leave your comments below what you think.